Speak reports from very although I think it takes it's very or no.
Yeah, that's.
Yes,
that would be
we can
totally
search.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence for the men and women of the armed forces and our first responders. Thank you. Brian, come on down.
Good evening, Brian McCauley, 193 Ashland. I guess you've probably seen me here before. I'm on the Board of Education, but I'm actually not here speaking as a Board of Education member, although I do hope that I implore that you approve the budget and don't cut it any more than it has been cut at this point. And I also hope that you see to put $290,000 back into the budget to reinstate the ESS program, or not, well, to give the money so we can reinstate it as is. And I say I'm coming from a unique perspective from the public schools. I've worked in programs. The first program I worked in, we should across the border. It's $150,000 to send a student there as a residential student. As a day student, it is somewhere around 80 to 100,000, depending on the services they have. I taught at the Deborah Glenholm School in Washington, $125,000 as a residential student. We sent our last student we sent there, while I was there, was $90,000. I saw it on the budget. I currently work in Danbury at the Access program, and we are a very expensive outplace program. We are $57,000 to $60,000 a year, not including transportation. It's a big program. So ESS served, and programs like ESS serve a valuable service to the least service students in the school. These students have social emotional difficulties, they have high anxiety, they often slip through the cracks. I know you've heard a lot of parents speak about this, and it's very emotional to participate in drama, and they have an opportunity to go to school in their towns, not having to ride buses for sometimes as long as 2 hours a day. So I guess it's hard for me not to speak emotionally about this. I know but I am very emotional about this because these kids are the kids who often slip through the cracks. These are the kids who are potential for all sorts of poor outcomes in the future, drug addiction, various. A number of people say suicide. I don't like to go there, but they also are students who have the potential to turn things around. I had a former student ring the bell at the stock market a few years ago. I had a former student who is not quite on Broadway, but is off Broadway, but is incredibly talented. This kid, when I taught him, could barely walk into a high school. So we can't turn our back to these kids who need these services. And honestly, as a board member, I didn't vote for the budget because of that program, because of the cuts to that program. But I do support the budget, and I do implore that you do not cut any more money out of the budget. Our school cannot handle a 1% budget increase. It's 2.7% just to cover salaries and other required things like health insurance. I left my notes at home. It's easier on that side, by the way, to speak than it is on this side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. Megan, excuse me, Megan.
petition via change.org. It's been online for just over 2 days right now, and as of a few minutes ago, we had 355 signs to this petition. I did not bring a paper copy, I was having some technical difficulties this afternoon. I'm getting it formatted to print well, but I will read you what it says. The title is Reinstate Funds to ESS Program and Board of Budget. ESS program is an in-house program servicing New Milford's at-risk students. Many of these students previously were placed out of district in specialized programs equipped for handling the extreme mental health crises they face, including such things as debilitating anxiety, depression, self-harm, and suicidal ideologies. In order to get the biggest bang for the buck, according to 2/3 of the program, approximately 15 students currently enrolled will be left without adequate supports to help them successfully complete their education in district, and we as a community will likely be hit with greater than expected outplacement costs. We, the undersigned, believe these funds should be returned to the overall budget by the town council prior to referendum, and then once the final budget is decided by the taxpayers, the Board of Education should reinstate this program. Please consider the needs of these students and understand that $290,000 is not worth a single life lost to suicide or drug addiction. Two very real potential outcomes should we turn our backs on these students. And like I said, we have 355 signatures at this time. I'm leaving it open. They will be brought on. I do want to read you some of the comments that other people wrote when signing. Bernadette Conti wrote, "There's no room for error with mental health. We can simply not afford to limit our resources." Sarah Flagoma wrote, "Programs regarding the mental health of our children should not be considered a want. It is a need." One person, Deborah Freeman, wrote Nurture Our Future. Another person wrote, "I see firsthand how important this program is to even our youngest learners. We are getting a big, in all caps, bang for our buck." And it goes on and on. So clearly, if I in 2 days online only can get almost 10% of the total number of people who voted in the last referendum to sign this, it is an issue that people in this town do care about, and they would like to see the money reinstated so that they can say yes to the budget when it goes to referendum. And I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Maybe please.
You want to try saying my last name again?
No.
Amy Patapos, Sheffield Road. I'm obviously a member of the Board of Finance, but I'm here tonight as a parent and as a community member, and as someone who's quite concerned with the removal of ESS funding in next year's Board of Education budget. I'm here to urge you to restore $290,000 to the Board of Ed budget for next year, and to provide your recommendation to enable ESS to continue for fiscal year 2021 without interruption. I have heard, like you, lots of testimonials from parents and families who have been affected, from special education professionals, teachers, psychologists, who all have implored you the same thing over the past few weeks. I came across some interesting data from ESS that was new to me, so I'd like to share that with you as well. This is information that was presented during a Board of Education special workshop on April 23rd, 2019. From the video footage, I could see where Olson was present, multiple members of ESS, and select members of the Board of Education, perhaps not surprisingly, those members who wanted to see ESS continue to be funded. On the executive summary slide within the presentation, a few interesting bullet points. The ESS program in New Milford is making a critical impact on mental health outcomes for the district, while also creating a cost surplus for district financial health. Since the inception of the program, and this is again, keep in mind through last April, the district has been successful in bringing 6 students back from out-of-district placement status, 2 students back from home instruction, and has prevented an estimated 20 students from being sent out to out-of-district placement. Again, that's based on data that was shared from the beginning of the program through last April during this presentation. For the current year, they said, which was 2018-2019, as of April, 2 students were returners from out-of-district placement, and an estimated 8 have had out-of-district placements avoided since we began. Based on these numbers, the district is generating an estimated annual cost surplus of over $355,000 net of program costs. And I'll explain that in a minute. We've identified additional opportunities for utilizing and expanding the program next year, which could increase the surplus further. So where they arrived at that cost surplus is for 2019, they looked at those 2 students who were currently attending ESS that were previously in out-of-district placement. Using the estimate that you've heard of $80,000 per out-of-district placement to cover tuition plus transportation, that came to $160,000. If you subtract that from the price of the program, you had left $282,000. Of the students that they also prevented from going out of district, they also anticipated 8 other students would have gone out of district. That's $640,000 in cost avoidance. That's how they reached the surplus of $355,000. So I've heard discussions over banging through whatever the language is. To me, keeping ESS is financially and fiscally responsible. Putting together an education budget that significantly strips away ESS without building in funds to somehow provide an equivalent ownable program of our own is irresponsible. The Board of Education wants you to believe that they will provide an equivalent solution, and you heard that last week when I questioned them. They want you to believe that once the budget is passed, they will be able to identify and implement a solution. If they can identify a solution, and if they can identify funding to cover it within the approved budget, and those are very, very big ifs, they must also want you to believe that they can somehow identify, hire, and train specialized personnel are very few and far between. They also want you to believe they can somehow build out an ownable program and somehow communicate all of this to the ESS students and families prior to the start of the new school year, but after the budget has been approved. This is just not realistic. Please, I implore you to restore the $290,000 to the Board of Education budget and recommend to the Board of Finance and also to the Board of Ed, who obviously has line data jurisdiction, that you would like to see ESS continue for next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. The other question of the process moved from the Board of Education, the mayor's recommendation now, the Katie?
Yes. I'd like to move for discussion and possible action to approve the mayor's recommended budget for the Board of Education in the amount of $65,464,776. For a second?
Second.
Discussion?
What I'd like to say first is our continuing dialogue as we have had with the Board of Education. One of the things that we look at is things that we do jointly. And one of those that we do jointly is we purchase health insurance together. Normally we get the beginning numbers well before budget, and we continue to look at these numbers as we go through the year, including the budget and even after the budget as it goes after town council's Board of Finance. Today I had a meeting with Dr. Parker, Anthony, Greg, our finance director, Olga, our comptroller, Katie Francis, who's our vice chairman of the council, Angie Chastain, our BOE chairman, Walter O'Connor, who is our Board of Finance chairman, and we had some really good news. So from our consultants, from our health insurance, we are going to see a savings comparative to what we budgeted for. We are estimating that on the Board of Education, the approximate savings to the budget that is proposed currently would be approximately $396,492. So the differential, obviously we go to the Board of Education moving forward, as long as this body approved the mayor's recommended budget, and the Board of Finance did as well, and the public approves the budget as it is today. So with that being said.
Any other discussion?
Okay, that's just on.
Just the Board of Ed. Okay. Do we have any other discussion?
Yeah, I'm troubled how we got to this point, but I'm very pleased that we did get to this
this point. And I hope in the future that we can keep dialogues open so that we don't have to bring it to her. That's a good thing.
And the great news is, again, working with, as we asked, the Board of Education. Thank you, Dr. Parker, Angie, and everyone that came to that. Really looking at these numbers as we do, as we've done in the past, and being able to see this come to fruition. And that was us moving to the SPP. So that's a state partnership plan. So that's another dividend, so to speak, for that.
And may I add, also this is a result of the switching insurance consultants. It was
Well, they start July 1, Sealer, or we don't do it. So we still have locked into that.
and while there, I just went a little off. The consultant fees, are they absorbed by the on the town side?
Yes. Greg, town side, right? We absorb the cost of the consultant.
Currently,
Yes.
Okay, and is that number changing because we're on the state plan, so there really shouldn't be too much consulting? Is the fee lower?
No, we awarded it to Seager when their bid was $50,000, so we saved $15,000.
That's the max, yeah, that's exactly. Okay, thank you.
Any other-
Article, just a comment, article in newspaper for students. It cost the community $8.4 million. We got, if we outpace 25, if we outpace 50 or 75 or 100, that would cost the community 1.2.
As we all know, the Board of Education has sole jurisdiction on the monies, so they will be the ones that will decide.
Have they told you in your meeting that yes, they will hold this money for this program?
That would be up to the Board of Education.
Well, if it isn't, I'm telling you, this is gonna be a big problem. Huge problem.
So do we have any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I move for discussion and possible action to approve the mayor's recommended budget for the town with the following adjustment: 301-00-56905 to the highway road projects account 104-901-108-57200.
Second.
This transfer does not impact the budget in any way. It's a simple change of account.
This is moving from operations to capital, so it's a mistake.
And the second adjustment to the mayor's recommended budget for the town is a reduction for the health insurance lines, number 0, for a total budget for the town of $40 million, $413,790.
Second.
And this is the health savings that we are approximating for the town side, which is $187,495. So my recommendation would be to use that to offset taxes. So do we have any discussion?
I have a question about the women's center. Did you ever receive a request? No, you didn't. Okay, you didn't last year.
I think we did last year, yes. I think they did send it in last year.
Yeah,
No, we did not.
so,
And anybody who had applied before Mary Jane Day, we did.
but apparently they had, I know last year they didn't get it till late. And it was so late that they didn't have time to get their numbers together, and they hadn't done their budget yet. And in all fairness, we hadn't done our budget yet either, and it was almost like an unfair request.
Well, I just have to tell you that the
Last year it didn't, they received it like at the very last minute.
They received it?
From the executive.
okay, and I think what happened last year, if you really want to know, is that they did not reply within the timeline that was given. And we allowed them to apply after the deadline. That's probably what you indicated. But the bottom line is that there's plenty of time for all the other people. So they did not reply at all this year. So I can't tell you why. I don't call people and ask them why they're not. So
I heard that there was some issues like out of town here. So,
You might have heard it, but I haven't heard such a thing, and they were treated just like every other person who applied. And I really don't want to get into this with you, but please don't make comments that are unbased. Yeah, Walter O'Connor out here was on the committee, and Sharon Ward, and the three of us, I think, would never have treated anybody any differently from the rest of the people. So, yeah, no dog in that fight at all. If they meet the criteria, they would be considered. So, that's the end of that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And Greg, can you give us a count on what the mill rate and the tax increases?
The mill rate with that change will be 29.34 mils, which is a 2.22% increase.
Thank you, Greg. Anybody have any questions for Greg? Walter?
Motion to adjourn. Whoops.
Something else that I gave for me. I'd like to eliminate myself and as a result. We've already voted. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn. Special.
I would like to make a couple comments. That's good. And look forward to next year.
Any other comments?
For the third time now.
Very quick comment, just for, members of the council and members, people in the public. I know that this stuff is emotional and it's very important to a lot of us, certain areas of budget and what people want, but we've got to stop being, it just seems like we're attacking people personally for their political or opinions on the budget, and that's something we just need to try to avoid going forward. Everyone that's on these boards and commissions and all the people that come to these meetings and speak are doing it because they love this town and want to do what's best for it. And we hear you and we listen to you and we do listen to what you have to say. And we do, it's important to hear what the public has to say, but it is frustrating when you hear this, it's not comments that are made time and time again. I'm just hoping going forward that we try to avoid those. Because it just would be a lot nicer, because no one here is trying to do anything bad. No one here is trying to hurt anybody else. They're doing what they feel is important. The person that doesn't come up to speak is the taxpayer on the fixed income, that any increase in this budget is going to make it hard for them to make ends meet. So, we as a board have to look at them, not just each individual program that is either caught or getting more money or less money, but the whole overall program to try and keep this town affordable, because unfortunately, Wilford's a great town, but it's still stuck in the state of Connecticut, which is so I just hope going forward that people try to be a little more positive about their comments. Well said. I'm done.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn. Special.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
I don't know. I want to